world governments are actually just pawns of the Illuminati, this Council of Aliens. They do their bidding. They do what they're told. The real power brokers, you're never going to hear their names. You might hear Henry Kissinger, who's always been a pawn back and forth between the aliens and the humans, and you might run into people like him, but the real power names you'll never hear. They completely stay out of the limelight, and that's why people will say there's something else controlling Washington. There's a force there that they can't describe. That's literally pushing the strings, making all the moves, and everybody in Washington is just a pawn to this invisible force. And that's what it is. This is the Illuminati. It's this Council of Aliens, the principalities and the power of the air over D.C., over all of our political institutions, that are running it, And they hate their offspring. There's no compatibility between, okay, you're our children, we love you, let's do this together. They hate them. And so you're going to find that I always said the only justice we're going to have, one of them, we're going to have several. Take that back. But one of them is going to be that you've heard of the trains, and you've heard of the red list and the blue list and the green or yellow lists. And they're going to be the first ones killed when Satan comes to power, because he doesn't need these offspring of his. They've gotten him to where he needed to be. And when he rises to power, he's going to kill them all off. They hate them. They hate the offspring. They hate the Nephilim. And so it's kind of funny in a way, because all these camps and trains that they spend our tax dollars building and creating, they're going to be the very ones at the top to exactly take the ride to these camps themselves. But the coming of Maitreya, you're going to see a balance shift from the spiritual realm to the physical realm. All of a sudden, he's no longer going to be a player behind the scenes. He's going to be on the physical realm, masquerading as an Arab Messiah. And like I've warned, he's very vicious. He's a savage. Two things always dominant with his arrival, and that is the death of George W. Bush and my own particular death. And it's almost humorous, because the real George Bush is long gone anyway, so we're just going to kill his body as an example to the world for what? I don't know, getting rid of corruption and evil, when it's nothing but evil and corruption that's going to kill him, because Maitreya is purely evil. But they're going to bring in this facade that they're bringing in God's kingdom on earth, and that they're going to change our reality from a third dimension to a fifth dimension. Why do we have to go from third to fifth? Okay, why don't people put two and two together? Okay, why don't we go to the fourth dimension? Because they don't want you to know what their dimension is like. Because they're all evil. They're pure evil. The fourth dimension is Satan's dimension. It's demons, it's aliens, it's fallen angels, it's whatever you want to, They're two different beings, but it all encompasses Satan's kingdom. And so they have to jump higher to the fifth dimension and say, okay, this is the kingdom of God. Bring it to earth and going to create, turn earth into this heavenly paradise. And so there's various ways that they're working to do that. And they've had plans in place for years. And so what they're going to do is go after those. They would kill off Cheney and Bush and corrupt politicians to try to show the world that, hey, we're here to restore order. We're going to restore every country's constitutions and get rid of war and get rid of evil and corruption. And so by taking the life of Bush Jr. and Cheney or whoever, we'll prove that they're here to do what they say they're going to do. Obviously, they're going to come after me because I've been a target of theirs for years. And it gets really livid. It gets, sometimes you'll see it come out into the physical realm, in a physical manifestation, when you actually see them channeling through people and talking about me and mentioning my name. It's because there's a real war ongoing. And I know that they read my articles, they listen to my recordings. I've been under surveillance for so long. And the biggest laughable thing that they'll tell their people, is Sherry Schreiner's CIA. And who owns the CIA? The Vatican does. Satan does. The CIA is an arm of the Vatican. It is not owned by our country. We may fund it out the yin and give it taxpayer money, but we don't own it and control it. The Vatican does. and most of the higher echelon of the CIA are reptilians. They're shape-shifting reptilians. And so they serve the alien agenda. They serve the Illuminati, the Council of Aliens that's running everything behind the scenes. And so it's almost laughable that they would say I'm CIA because I'm their biggest enemy. You know, I'm one of their biggest number one enemies. And they'll come up with other stuff. They're desperate, in desperation, to try to get people not to listen to me, to try to get people not to read my material, because what happens is a lot of people will look for Nasera or look for Maitreya and Sananda, and they'll stumble on my information where I expose exactly what it is and who these thugs are. And so their own little illusions get shattered, you know. They want to believe in this New Age mystical Messiah stuff that we can all become gods or that we're ascending into another dimension. And what I find amusing is that at the same time that you'll almost sense a general feeling amongst Christians everywhere that there's evil in the air, will be the same time that these ascended masters are talking about everybody's ascending now. Everybody's reaching a new level higher. And it's, you know, and at the same time all you feel is evil. And so I don't know how these New Agers, they just imagine themselves as ascending into higher and higher levels or whatever, just getting more and more possessed is all they're doing. Because the more they follow these ascended masters and believe and follow their teachings, the more hold that these alien beings get over them. And so literally, eventually they're just going to be completely possessed by these alien beings, and especially these people that allow these aliens and demonic beings to channel through them. They're going to become totally possessed by them, you know. And so it's almost a paradox. There's always the paradox there. Whenever you start feeling more and more evil, you can go check out the New Age websites, and all of a sudden they're talking about how everything's getting better, better, and better. And so it's just, you know, you can always tell what's going on. I mean, I don't even have to read anything online. You don't even have, after a while, you just know automatically that when you start feeling evil and apprehension that something evil's coming, at the same time the New Agers are talking about how we're getting one step closer to our kingdom of God on earth. And that's why you feel so much evil, because this alleged kingdom of God on earth that they're going to build is completely evil. It will be when Satan comes as this Sananda and rules the world, you know. I've been talking about the two, Sananda and Maitreya, and Satan will be this Jesus. He's not going to be Maitreya. He's not going to fulfill that role as the Arabic. I don't see it at all, because Satan wants to be worshipped as the Son of God. And so you'll see in the Bible codes where Maitreya and Jesus are two separate people, but that Jesus is Hillel. You'll find the name Hillel running through him. And Hillel is one of the real names of Lucifer. And so you'll see those two combined all the time, where you won't see it combined with Maitreya. So I do believe that this Jesus Sananda is going to be Satan in the flesh. Now what role he plays, which beast, I don't know. I don't know if he's going to be a false prophet, if he's going to actually be the Antichrist. I'm not sure at this point. I guess we won't really know until it happens, because there's so many different routes that can happen. Will a human actually stand up to play the role of the Antichrist? I know a lot of people believe that scenario. The more I just follow what's going on behind the scenes, I find it hard to believe that any human is going to stand up and come back as the Antichrist. I believe it's going to be one of these Anunnakis fulfilling that role. Maybe they'll work together. Maybe Maitreya and Sananda, one will be the false prophet, one will be the Antichrist. I don't know. You know, sometimes you just have to throw everything you've learned and everything you've thought will happen out the window and be flexible for the unexpected to happen. Because the Bible will tell you things, but then the Bible itself could fulfill it without contradicting itself one bit in any one of these different scenarios. You know? So you can't throw that out. You just have to be flexible and watch and discern what's going on at all times. You know? And that's all I can try to do. You know, and until this stuff actually starts happening and we see it, I don't think we're exactly going to know exactly which route is going to be played, because like I've said before, Satan has many different roads that he can come to power on. He isn't banking on any personal one. And I talked about Nisera over the years,